Well, welcome to another edition of Motor Cars Enthusiasts. Right off the bat on today's show, you may remember this particular machine known as the Aston Martin AMRB003. Well, this vehicle is going to get a brand new name. From here forth, this vehicle will be known as the Aston Martin Valhalla. Now, think of the Valhalla as somewhat of a softer Valkyrie, or a little bit easier to live with Valkyrie. Tons of performance, tons of race car attributes, but it's just going to be something that's going to be a little bit easier to live with every day. Now, the Valhalla is supposedly going to come with a hybrid twin turbocharged V6 setup, and they're also talking about this thing going into production in late 2021, possibly as a 2022 model. But there's a lot of unanswered questions about this particular machine that we're going to know over the next several months, especially now that it's known as the Valhalla now, especially maybe Geneva next year, we may get to see a closer version of the production vehicle for this. So keep in tune for a lot more information about the brand new Valhalla. Another vehicle that's somewhat of a flight of fancy that could be something a little bit more serious comes from the folks over at BMW. This is the BMW Vision M Next concept. There is a lot of reports that this may be a little bit of a glimpse into the future of that possible M1 successor that's long been rumored, but we've yet to see anything real about it. The possibility that this could be the silhouette, a little bit harkening back to that original M1 from back in the day. Now, the Vision M Next concept comes with a turbocharged 2-liter 4-cylinder unit, which doesn't sound like much, but it is a plug-in hybrid. In fact, it's upwards of 62 miles in full EV range. But together, the two will make 591 brake horsepower. Talk about a 0 to 62 run in just 3 seconds flat with a top speed of 186 miles an hour. Now, they're talking about this thing being either rear-wheel drive or all-wheel drive, and not for 100% sure whether the vehicle will just have all-wheel drive when it needs it, and maybe it's rear-wheel drive most of the time, or if you're actually going to be able to buy a rear-wheel drive or an all-wheel drive. A lot of these things are going to be answered over the next several months, especially because this vehicle is going to make its official debut at the Frankfurt Motor Show in Frankfurt, Germany, coming up in September. And there's a lot of talk that this thing's going to be a full-on production version, possibly the successor to the i8, but we'll definitely have to wait and see on that front. So a lot more information going to come out about this over the next several months, so definitely keep you in tuned. And last up on the list, well, if you're going to lay down your hard-earned cash on a brand new 718 Cayman GT4 from Porsche, but the next look into is who's going to insure that particular machine. Well, if you live in a couple of states here in the United States, Porsche may have your back in this particular situation. In fact, if you live in one of the states that O Motor Cars is based in, I guess if I had a Porsche, I could probably get in on this action. Well, I'm sure would love to have one of these GT4s. Back to the situation at hand. If you own a Porsche from 1981 on to present, Porsche can give you agreed coverage on your particular machine. Now, the trick of this deal is it's pretty great. So if you end up having an incident with this thing, they're going to try the best of their abilities to use official Porsche products on it. So factory parts are going to go onto it. Unless it's something that is just, maybe inconceivable that you could actually get Porsche parts for. Now, that being said, that agreed coverage situation, let's say if you own something a tad bit way more exotic, maybe a 918 Spider, maybe a Porsche from the past that they didn't make a whole lot of them, and this could be a situation where you could go to them and tell them what you think it's worth. And as long as you two agree on the situation, then it's something that actually could be done. So you may pay a little bit more in premiums, but if you actually end up having a deal where the car is actually a write-off, you are going to get the agreed coverage. The other situation is this, is you kind of get a little bit of the inside workings of the insurance deal. So if you get to pick as far as the mileage you want to do, you can actually do a situation where you take a photograph of the odometer and send it off to Porsche, and then they kind of do it accordingly. If you're not going to use it in a huge amount of capacity, like say if it's a 918 Spider or something from the past that you're not going to take out every day, then maybe it's a situation where you can lessen it if you're talking about a lot less mileage. And they're kind of not going to have a situation where it's going to keep track of those mileage for you. Again, you just take a photograph of the odometer itself and send it off to Porsche. Now here's the situation. It's only in 2 U.S. states, Oregon and Illinois, which is kind of an odd situation as far as those two. I'm thinking they probably looked all over the United States and thought these are the 2 states that probably have the least amount of Porsches per capita, possibly. Because obviously if you went into this California, probably Florida, then you're in a situation where there's a whole lot more of these machines around and they may be not so much of a trial period. Porsche is looking at making this something that's going to go US-wide and possibly worldwide coming in the future. So stay tuned for more on this particular situation. This is an interesting deal. It's may become a new trend inside of the industry. We've seen Tesla now take a lot of their insurance deals in-house. So now that Porsche is looking into it, maybe we're going to see this from a lot of manufacturers moving forward. And that's all there was that I thought was worth talking about for this edition of Motor Cars Enthusiast. Don't forget to like us over on the Facebook page. Links down in the show notes. Also, if you'd like to subscribe to the channel, you can do so at any time. Get the first dibs in the brand new shows as soon as they come out. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again real soon.